Hi, and welcome to All About the Philippines. Looking to date a Filipina or already dating or married to a Filipina? I use my experiences around my relationship with my Filipina wife of 6 years, as well as my professional experience as a qualified relationship counsellor for the past 10 years to help you on your way. Are you after information, tips and resources for a successful relationship with a Filipina and maintain it? Too easy. Just take a second to subscribe and click the bell icon, and I promise you'll never miss out again. With the divorce rate at near on 50% in some Western countries such as Australia and the USA, many people are experiencing great heartache, especially if you've been married for many years and never saw this coming. Suddenly, out of the blue, your wife says in a serious tone of voice, "I need to talk with you." Now, you guys out there will know exactly what I'm talking about, right guys? Many of you will certainly know that voice. And then she casually tells you that she wants a separation or a trial separation, which in most times will mean the same thing. When you're blindsided like that, it really feels like a huge smack to the face. Many things race through your mind, or you may even just feel numb for a period of time. Your emotions will be all over the place and your thoughts jumbled and confused. All these things are very normal human reactions and emotions. And then what happens for those guys whose ex starts dating another guy? For many who will still have feelings for their ex, this can set off many problems. One may get angry or even start to become obsessed about when this new guy is at the ex's house, and he can't help but to imagine what is going on inside that house. Guys, here's the thing. There's no need for you to be too heartbroken, and there is a far better life ahead. How do I know this? Because the big D happened to me, and for a while I was certainly heartbroken. The many dreams my Australian wife and I had made together were now smashed in what seemed to be a very cold and heartless way. And as so often is the case, I was the last one to know that she had someone else on her mind, or perhaps I just subconsciously didn't want to see the reality. Either way, this can be a tough time for many men, and we start to become disillusioned with women in general, and we go into what I call a protection mode to protect ourselves from having our emotions smashed by a woman. No longer after work are there any kids to greet you, nor your wife to ask how your day was. No longer do you have someone to sit down and talk about general things or plans for the future. Indeed, this is a rapid and very fast transition that if one doesn't adapt to, then they may fall into a deep depression. This is all way too common nowadays and can lead to very bad outcomes, as I'm sure we've all heard about. And if you're listening to this and you identify, please reach out to someone for help. And guys, on a much brighter note, there is a huge light with so many possibilities. This is your opportunity to write new stories in your life. Yes, you are now the sole author in the best comeback story of your life, but only you can make it happen. Many of you may have heard the saying fight or flight when we get into situations we're not comfortable in. Simply that means when a challenging situation confronts us, we have the choice either to fight and get through it more quickly, or flight, where we run away and don't confront the challenge. And of course, when you choose flight, you run the risk of never moving forward again. At that difficult time in my life, I chose to fight. I picked myself up and decided I wasn't going to be defeated, and knew there was a woman somewhere out there that would really love and care for me, and one who would stick by me through the good and the bad. My mind went all the way back to 1980 when I went on a trip with my parents to Southeast Asia. We visited several countries, but the first country we went to was the one that stuck in my head for many years to come. As a teenage boy about to turn 16, I was fascinated by this country as soon as we landed. The sights and sounds of Manila and the friendly people, but also the poverty and soldiers on the streets with rifles over their shoulders stuck in my mind. At that time, the Philippines was under martial law with President Ferdinand Marcos, and I clearly remembered a young Filipina trying to teach me how to do the tinkling dance, or what we might call the bamboo dance. It was a lot of fun, but really at that time I was just taken aback by this girl's beauty, her amazing smile and friendly nature. I'd never seen a girl like this in Australia. This picture is that moment that I was just talking about, and it's so deeply burned into my mind to this day. And for me at least, it was something as simple as a photograph or a very fond memory that inspired me to find out more about the Philippines all those years later. And I thought, what if a woman like that still exists in the Philippines? I knew at that moment I had to find out. After all, I was totally over the way women had treated me in Australia and really didn't want to go through that again. But nor did I want to be on my own forever, as I'm a believer the purpose of life is to share it with other people, and from that we grow and become more fulfilled in our life. So I got on the computer and I found a Philippines Facebook group where there were many Filipinas searching for partners, and I met a few there online, and most seemed very nice, but there was one that really captured my attention, and as we spoke it was clear that I wanted to get to know a lot more about her, and she seemed quite interested in me at that stage as well. So to cut a long story short, and as I say, the rest is history. We did the whole long distance relationship thing. I went back and forth to the Philippines to spend quality time with her and get to know her even more. She came to Australia for a holiday and never returned, as we married during that time, and she was granted the appropriate visas. She arrived in Australia in April 2014, and we have been together ever since. One thing I will tell you, and it's the honest truth, I'm now, after almost 6 years, the most content and happy that I've ever been in my life. Something that at one point of time I would never have thought possible, and it would never have happened if I'd taken the flight option instead of the fight option. So don't despair, guys. Things really do have a way of turning around if you're brave enough when times are tough. And for those guys who have also had enough of women in their country, I advise the following. First, learn about the Philippines, Filipinas and their culture. Also, learn what is the right and wrong Filipina that you want to be looking for. Finding the right Filipina can be a challenge. The best place, I believe, to learn these things is in my various playlists on the home page of this channel. If you start with the free 14-part Dating a Filipina course, that will give you a solid basic knowledge on most things to do with finding and dating a Filipina. Then I have the Philippines Relationship Topics playlist, which has over 150 videos full of information, resources and tips for you to browse through at your leisure. If you have enjoyed the video or found it informative, then feel free to hit the like button. Don't forget to share the video with all your networks and to subscribe to our friendly community if you haven't done so already, and press the notification bell so you get all our videos. Thanks very much for watching. I appreciate all your support. Take care and bye for now.